So, this is going to be my review of Ultraman Season 2. Ultraman Season 2, first off, I want to say one thing. Fucking finally. That's really all I can say is really just fucking finally. Because how long has this been delayed? I mean, I understand, obviously, there was a big thing that happened in the world that delayed it, but, it was a pretty late to the party kind of thing, wasn't it? Like, it was just kind of there. And I understand, this is I think another thing is that they wanted to hold off because they wanted to have, synergy with the upcoming Shin Ultraman movie, which is coming out May 13th. Yeah, that's less than 30 days away, people. It's literally 30 days, it's less than a month away. Has anyone noticed there's been little fanfare for this movie? Shin Ultra... I understand that the Japanese marketing is vastly different than American marketing, but I was expecting, at least a second trailer. I watch, when I do... come tomorrow, there's going to be an Ultraman trailer, or the second I finish this video, there's going to be a Shin Ultraman trailer to expand on it. I mean, at least Shin Godzilla... To be fair, Shin Godzilla only had one, maybe two trailers. Well, one teaser and maybe one or two trailers. That was really it. No, they really only had one trailer. It was a teaser, and then they had one trailer. Now that I think about it, because again, you have to understand that Japanese marketing is, again, like I said, vastly different. So I understand that this makes a lot of sense to get people hyped for Ultraman, as well as you get to expand the anime. And you get to do more hey, you want to check out some Ultraman? Get ready for Shin Ultraman next month. So yeah, I don't know. By the way, if that's going to be, I don't know if that's going to be in Japanese theaters first before it comes to streaming, or if they're going to have it streaming in America in the same time it's premiering in Japan. I don't know, because I remember they waited a couple months before putting. They put them on direct to pay-per-view for Shin Godzilla. So I don't know what's going to be different for Shin Ultraman. I'm just excited. I've gotten more and more into Ultraman, so it is really cool that there's a lot of Ultraman content now. Yay me! So I'm excited. I am excited for all this. But enough about that. Let's dive into Ultraman Season 2. Now, Ultraman Season 2 is vastly shorter than Ultraman Season 1. The first season was 13 episodes. This is a 6-episode story arc, which honestly, it feels like that. It's kind of like Infinite. It feels a little bit like, I know it wasn't the case, but it almost feels like the same. I know it's not the same, but it does have that same feeling that Resident Evil Infinite Darkness had, where it was a movie, but it was cut up into pieces. It feels like that because it all feels like one consecutive storyline. You could splice this all into one movie. Not like with Season 2 where it had all these multiple plot lines and whatnot. It was more like a... this felt like a very concise, you could splice all of this into one very big movie, maybe a 2.5-hour film. And I know some people are saying that's a detriment to that. I do believe that there is a detriment, but at the same time, as much as I like the first season of Ultraman, I will say that it did meander in some points. For 13 episodes, you'd think it'd be a little more concise. It did meander, and some plot lines just did not go anywhere. I literally forgot about Shinjiro's pop star girlfriend who was in New York. I literally forgot who she was for a hot minute. I was like, who the fuck are you? Oh, right, you're the love interest. Right. Oh, damn. Yeah, it was kind of like you were superfluous, so I don't really care about you, Sorry about that. Anyway, so I just forgot about some characters. Obviously, Shinjiro himself, he kind of takes a backseat to this season as well. I mean, with 6 episodes, it's more we gotta show all the other Ultramen. And I find it funny because it just now dawned on me that literally all the Ultramen who show up in the show are literally how they show up in the live action show. Like, first we had Ultraman, then we had Ultra 7, then came Ace, then came Jack, then Taro, then we had Return of Ultra. It was funny how, like, I didn't realize it up until, like, I was watching the show, and, like, halfway through the storyline, I was like, hey, it's exactly how they do it in the live action show, like how they do each season with a different Ultraman. They show up in the exact order they did in the show. I thought that was, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just that stupid and didn't realize that right away. Like, maybe that's my fault for not realizing they were showing up in that, like, they were showing up at that speed, you know what I'm saying? The action's still pretty good. I will say, though, is it just me? I'm all for subs and dub. I go for both subs and dubs when it comes to anime. If the dub is really good, I'll watch the dub. If the sub if we all have the sub and it's a good show, I will just watch the sub. But the dub in here, there's a lot of bad in here. There's a lot of bad dubbing in here. And I'm not saying, like, bad line reading or whatever, but, like, some of the voice acting is just kind of boring. And it's kind of weird because I think I had this complaint with season 1 where I really did feel like the voice acting in here was just not that great, where it was just it just felt like they're just kind of, there's no, like, voice direction. And I don't know if that was if that's the voice cast fault, or if this is the fault of, you know, whoever. Also, animation budget seemed to have cut back a bit. They clearly put their budget in the fight sequences, but there's some legit scenes you will see that they reuse. They literally reuse images. And I understand CGI shows are a little more expensive, but, like, dude, there is some straight up, like, rehashing of some animation in here. Like, I spotted it at least 4 times. In 4 separate in like several episodes. So twice in one episode, and maybe it was more blink and you miss it, but I'm pretty sure I saw more than that. Yeah. So I understand that this was more of a budget with the episodes cut down, and I think the animation, like, I think this was just kind of like rushed out. That's what I think happened, is that this was really very much rushed out to get out there. Because the story, like I said, it is a little more tighter, but there is a lot more, like, plot holes and a few other things. The characters are all fine. Like, all the stuff when they're talking and doing stuff with the Ultramen, it's cool. Like, it's neat, but, like, when they try to deviate from that, it's like, I don't care, and it's clear you don't either, production team. So, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I will say also, the villain in here, the villain they use in the anime, is not threatening whatsoever. Like, literally, the villains, though, I can't even pronounce the name. I'll just call them, because there are, like, it's a gang of different aliens. So, like, the Black Star, Black Star, they're not that threatening. Like, their designs are really, like, they clearly wanted to take some design cues from Dragon Ball, because those characters, if you put them in 2D, in 2D, those motherfuckers would literally look like someone Goku or Vegeta would fight, and they are not threatening whatsoever. These guys do not, especially the first few villains, like maids who sound like dudes with masks on their face. And thankfully, they're just henchmen. But like the first 2 episodes, I was like, please God, tell me these are not the main villains of the whole story arc. I would prefer not to have that. So, thank God there is a bigger villain to this. Like, there is a much bigger villain to all of this, and they're not as threatening either. So, I don't know, like, what that is. At least Bemular in the first arc story had some great intrigue along with Bemular himself. But the villains are just not that interesting in here. The fights, at least they put their money where their mouth was for fight sequences, but other than that, this was kind of, this was okay. I feel like that I've seen other shows, even on Netflix, do stuff with this amount, and you could say, oh, it's only half-hour episodes. So was Pacific Rim: The Black, and I think they only had the same amount of episodes in the first season, and they told a pretty concise story for the first season. This, and it is, I will say it's not all over the place, like I felt season 1 was at some points. But at the same time, it does feel like it does feel like there's been some sacrifices in terms of animation and a few other stories here, like a few elements here and there. So, is Ultraman Season 2 good? I think it's okay. It does have some moments which I'm not going to spoil, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, it does feel like a bit of a step down. I'm still going to watch it. It's still a good show. But I was more interested also in out of the other characters outside of Shinjiro. And that's bad because that's the main character, but I'm more interested in like what's Jax doing, what Taro's doing. Like those characters seem to have more I'm more interested and more invested in them than I am the main character. And yeah, that never helps, but whatever. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Ultraman Season 2? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon, where if you hit the 4th tier, you can not only get the exclusive content over on Patreon, but you can also check out... you can also send requests for me to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.